resellers, so I have to ask, have you ever had that time when you passed by something on the rack and thought, no, that must not be worth anything, only to find out later that you could have flipped that item for $100, even $200. There's not much worse than that feeling. And that's exactly what we're going to be diving into in today's video. There's a trend that is sweeping reseller platforms, and the best part, it cuts across all brand types, which means more opportunity for you to cash in if you know what to look for. And stick with me to the end, because that's where I'll show you where the hidden profits are in items that you may have been walking right by. Let's dive in. Here's the deal. Buyers are paying up for pieces that aren't just trendy. They're nostalgic, stylish, and versatile, and they cross every lane of resale, from mainstream brands you already know to streetwear labels with cult followings to obscure and surprising names that will make you stop in your tracks once you've seen the comps. For those of you who haven't met me yet, my name is LeeMeier, and I've made well over $100,000 net profit as a reseller flipping used clothes online on sites like eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. And now I'm on a mission to be able to help you hit that same $100,000 milestone, because the truth is the opportunities are everywhere if you know what to look for. So what's that trend that we're talking about that is flying off the shelves right now? Well, what I am talking about are tracksuits. Yep. Tracksuits are back in a big way, whether it's sleek athletic styles, retro 90s throwbacks, and definitely velour. These sets are selling fast and often for some serious money. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and which ones you can flip for $50, $100, even $200. All right, so I've got this broken down into 4 different types of brands to look for with this trend. Make sure that you stick around for the last one, because that's where I will be showing you where those surprising profits are hidden. Now, the first item that we've got up here is from Fila. This is a 2-piece set. This one was listed at $99 and it sold for $89. This one is a little bit more unusual style from Victoria's Secret's brand that is called Moda International. There on your screen, you'll see what that tag for Moda International looks like. And this is a very unusual style. This is a short sleeve jacket with those matching pants. And this set sold for $49 full asking price. This is one from the Victoria's Secret line Pink. It's got that spell out large letters written across the backside as well as down the arm. Also got rhinestones there on the heart as well as the dog. And that pink on the backside, you can see just how cracked that lettering is. This is definitely not in the best of condition. There's even a missing rhinestone right here. It's got that faux fur lined hood. There's the tag. This one was listed at $102 and it sold for $75 after a best offer. By the way, all of these prices have been verified with Terapeak. That's how I know how much they sold for on a best offer. If you're wondering how to do the same when you're researching comps, then you're definitely going to want to check out this video where I walk you through how to do that. This is a men's set from Polo Ralph Lauren. This is a bigger size. With all of these tracksuits, usually those bigger sizes are going to sell for more. This one is a 3XLT. And again, this is both pants as well as the jacket. This one was listed at $70 and it sold for $50. Nike's line Air Jordan. Again, this is the complete set. Anytime you come across those complete sets, they are going to sell for more money. Just wait till you see the sold price on this one. It was listed at $224 and it sold full asking price. This is another one that sold for over the $50 price point. It's got a little bit of bling there at the front pocket as well as at the back of the pants. And this is from a brand that is called Plush and Lush. Now, this is actually a line from Victoria's Secret that was very popular in the 2000s into the early 2010s. This one was listed at $60 and it sold for $54. Now, if you're enjoying learning about these different brands, I do have a free brand list. That's the list of brands that has led me to the $100,000 mark and beyond. You'll find that free list down in the description below this video. Now, very unique set sold over on Poshmark, and this is from Juicy Couture, but this is a very unique set, not only because it's short sleeve, but it's also cropped. This one is also different than a lot of the items that are trending right now, which are velour. There's definitely other fabrics that are popular with the tracksuit look. One of these, which is what you're seeing, is terry cloth. I'm going to go ahead and try and zoom in on this a little bit better for you, but you should be able to see that looped fabric that is much like maybe your bath towel. This set from Juicy Couture sold for $60. This is a set over on eBay. This one has a little bit of a flare leg to it. A fairly simple set. No bling on this one. Sold for $75. This is another one from Juicy, but this one definitely has the bling going on in it. There's on those pants. The jacket has some as well as some embroidery there on the back. There is the brand tag for you. Sorry, that's a little bit sideways, but this set sold for the full asking price of $155. This one I did throw in with the mainstream brands, but maybe it's more of a mainstream name. This is from Paris Hilton, which her brand was very popular in the 2000s. And this set sold for $72 on Poshmark. One that is definitely a mainstream brand. This is from Adidas. This one was listed at $300 and it sold for $150. A good reminder to always check how much items sold for after a best offer. These next items are what I would call a little bit lesser known, maybe a little bit more obscure brands. This set that you're looking at is actually from a brand that is called God Body. These are selling for quite a lot. Let me go ahead and zoom in on that tag if you haven't seen this one before. This was listed at $200 and it sold for $160. And again, there's lots of these selling for well over that $100 price point. This one is from a brand that is called Jaded. You can make that out there across the chest of that jacket. It's also got some stud detailing there around the hood, as well as it's missing the drawstring of both the jacket as well as the pants. The pants also have that same metal detailing. This is listed at $80 and it sold for $50. This one is from a very obscure brand called Roadblock. So definitely don't just source based off of mainstream brands. You do not have to be tied down to just mainstream brands. There is what that tag looks like. This one was listed at $95 and it sold for $64. And this one is a brand that is called Winners. It's got that two-toned jacket. This one was listed for $70 and it sold for $60. Now with all of these, you're going to want to make sure that you're using keywords. For example, in the title of this item, rather than wasting space with the brand that nobody's probably going to be searching for, they fill this with words that buyers are after. For example, the fabric, velour, the look, hip-hop, streetwear, Y2K. Even with these more mainstream brands like this Paris Hilton that we looked at, you're noticing keywords like Mean Girls and Barbiecore. Got that Barbiecore keyword down in their style tags as well. Now, I know it can be hard to remember and keep track of all of those keywords that are actually selling that buyers are typing in and looking for, but it can make all of the difference. And I do have a handy dandy poster that makes this super simple to be able to get listings typed up in a matter of seconds with the right keywords that sell. I will link to that somewhere on your screen. It'll also be down in the description below this video. Now, this is a tracksuit straight out of the 80s. This is from a brand that is called Todd. There is what that looks like on the front, that embroidered logo. Asking price of $75. The next category of brands to be on the lookout for these types of items are streetwear brands. These are really killing it when it comes to this look. Now, this brand, Rockaware, there's a look at that tag. This one was listed for $90 and sold for $60. And this is one from Pepe Jeans in that lovely brown color. There is that tag. This one sold for $70 after a best offer. South Pole is another streetwear brand that is really killing it with these tracksuits. This one does have an ankle zip. There is what the South Pole tag looks like. And this one sold for the full asking price of $85. Lots of these for over the $100 point selling. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just sharing what is selling. That is up to you to use your discrimination whether or not you want to sell this brand. Again, ankle zip there on the pants. There's also a little bit of fraying around the cuffs. This is from the brand Sean John. Why these items are selling, I'm not really sure, but there are lots selling for over that $100 price point. This one sold for $105. Tracksuit from the brand Baby Fat. This is a small, by the way. Lots of details going on with this one. Sold for the full asking price of $90. Girl Connie, this is another one that is selling consistently over that $100 mark. Now, if you haven't this brand before, it's considered to be one of the founding hip-hop fashion brands. They're known for their baggy jeans, carpenter pants, oversized hoodies, all of those streetwear vibes. And this sold for the full asking price of $120. All right, so we have made it to the fourth category of items to look for with these tracksuits. I have saved the best for last. These are surprising items that don't require you to be brand dependent. Now, what you're looking at here is actually an up-branded item, more likely than not. The tag has been removed. Now, this track set that you're looking at is from the 70s. You can tell that based off of a few things, such as there on the zipper, it says Talon, as well as what the tag looks like as far as the material. You can see that it's a little bit more papery feel, papery look to that tag. By the way, I do have another video. If you're interested in learning how to date vintage, I'm going to link to it up here for you. But this set was listed at $125 and it sold full asking price. Also, some really good keywords with this one, like disco and tennis club and dad. Now, this is one from over on Poshmark, and this is the complete set from a no-name brand. Can't actually quite make out the name of this brand, but this set did sell for $27. Not too bad for a brand that most people would pass over. Now, I do want to point out one thing in the description that they do call out, that it could be a costume for the Mean Girl's mom. You see that they're called out in the description. So anybody who's looking to go as that for Halloween or whatever other costume party, this listing is going to come up. And there are tons of pop culture keywords like this. Now, I do have a guide I'm going to link to again somewhere on your screen that goes through all of these different types of keywords, and some of them can be very profitable. And no, you don't have to watch every TV show under the sun, every movie under the sun to be able to spot these. And I actually walk you through how to be able to identify profitable items in under 2 minutes using free tools. Nobody else is doing this, and some of these items are selling for hundreds of dollars. Now, this is one from what I would call a lower value brand. This is from the brand Erica. It's got a few minor flaws there. That is what the Erica tag looks like if you haven't seen this one before. Now, it says a best offer was accepted. That is what that strikeout is for. But when I actually go and pull this in Terapeak, it's showing that it sold for $50. So I'm not quite sure what is going on with this one, but it looks like it sold either at $50 or probably very close to that. Now, this is one that I believe is from a Kohl's, the big box store or the department store. There is what the tag looks like on this one, and this sold full price $40. A lot more than what you might think for a low value brand. And this is from a very obscure brand, Irvine Park. It's got a two-tone jacket, a few flaws there. This one still sold with flaws for $35. And the set from the mall brand Charlotte Russe. This is on Poshmark and it sold for $27. Now, I do want to point out some of the style tags they used, 90s as well as Barbiecore and Coquette Girl. Again, those keywords really, truly matter, especially style and aesthetic keywords. Other one where those keywords really came into play with this one. This one actually sold on auction. It had 28 bids on it and went for $54. Now, I do want to point out in the description because they very naturally incorporated those keywords. It says this is an authentic vintage tracksuit from probably the days your mom was in preschool, which I bought for the annual Quest Crew Halloween Party. That was the year we decided to dress like a 1970s cartel. More keywords. And it was beautiful. Hoping someone can find some use out of this getup, because if you like vintage clothing, it is insanely legit. It even feels wrong to wear this when you're not wearing aviators or smoking. This is not a reseller bike. Definitely incorporated some of those keywords that people are going to be searching when they're looking for these types of items. My only critique would have been to have more keywords there in the title. Again, that is how your items get found by buyers, not just browsers. There's a set over on Poshmark where they use that Barbie core keyword. This is from the brand New York and Company, and this one sold for $48. We've got another item that sold with that Barbie core keyword here on Poshmark. This one is actually 100% silk, and that sold for $150. So there you have it. Tracksuits are absolutely worth your attention right now. Of course, go ahead and comp them out, but there's a really good chance that these will make some very profitable flips for you. And they cross so many different mainstream brands, streetwear brands, even those obscure and lesser known brands, which means there are opportunities at every price point, in every thrift store, garage sale, wherever it is that you source. But here's the thing, tracksuits aren't just one of the trends driving big profits this season. And if you really want to maximize your sales, you don't want to stop there. Up next, I'm diving into another surprising trend that's selling like crazy, one that most resellers completely overlook. Trust me, you'll want to know what this is before you go sourcing again. Don't miss it. I'll see you there.